Welcome to Answers for Living. I'm Pastor Dave, and we're going to be answering the question, how do you find God's will and then follow it? Some of us see God's will as a detailed itinerary. Some see His will as a treasure hunt. It's hidden, and God says, you're getting warmer. Some think of His will as, well, it's going to happen anyway. We're sort of like puppets on a string. And others see God's will as a mission impossible assignment, if you choose to accept it. I want you to listen to Colossians chapter 1, verse 9 and 10. For this reason, since the day we heard about you, we have not stopped praying for you. We continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of His will through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives, so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please Him in every way. The phrase filled with the knowledge of His will is talking about far more than intellectual knowledge. It's experiential knowledge. God wants us to experience His will in our life. And as we experience His will, we'll also experience His presence in our life. Now I want to say the first thing we need to understand about knowing God's will. God's will is more like a game plan than a blueprint. You say, well, what's the difference? A blueprint is filled with details. You don't mess with a blueprint. You follow it. You don't have the freedom to change things when it comes to a blueprint. And many people believe God has a blueprint for their lives. We ask God, should I buy or lease this car? Should I go to this dealership or that dealership? Should I follow this career path or this career path? Should I marry him or her? Many people think that God has a specific person in mind for us to marry. Well, if that was true, what would happen if one of us married the wrong person? That would really mess things up for a whole bunch of other people. And if you believe this way, then you are a person that believes that God's will is like a blueprint. Now, others see God's will as like a game plan. And that would mean that there's lots of freedom in the Christian life, and I just need to obey the rules of the game. For instance, there usually isn't one specific person that you should marry. Now, you can choose to marry who you want to marry. But if you are a follower of Christ, then house rule number 1 is Christians are to marry Christians. Now, if the Christian life is like a game plan, there's lots of freedom and lots of options within the rules of the game. So where are the rules found? The rules are found in the pages of the Bible.